Welcome back to another episode of the Field of 68's Off the Carousel series. My name is Greg Waddell, and I am pleased to be joined today by Roger Powell, head coach at Valparaiso. Roger, how you doing today, first of all?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's been awesome, man. It's almost about a month here that I guess I've been a head coach, and I'm loving it, loving being back home, and it's exciting, man. We're building something special.
So I was telling you off camera about what we do with this series, right? We're interviewing every new head coach, but new head coach can mean a lot of different things. There's coaches who have been head coaches before plenty of times, and then there's coaches who are doing this for the very first time. And like you just said, this is your first time. Do you still have the jitters at all, or is it more just excitement and ready to get your head down and work?
Man, excitement, ready to get my head down to work. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that I was an assistant here for 5 years. So, I know the landscape, I know the city, I know the campus, a lot of familiar faces. So for me, it's like I said before, it's kind of like I've come back home. And, it's cool because in my office, I'm looking at all these pictures of all the championships and all these awesome players that we've coached here. And the cool thing is I was a part of most of these guys. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to get Valpo back to where it was and start cutting down some nets.
Yeah, I'm glad you alluded to the feel of a homecoming, right? Because your official coaching start, I believe, at the D1 level was at Valpo. Is that right?
Yep,
Yeah,
12 years ago. 12 years
right.
ago, Bryce Drew gave me an opportunity. Yeah.
So what did you learn? What's the biggest thing you'll take from your time with Bryce Drew that you feel like will translate and will help you now that this is your program?
Oh, I mean, come on. I mean, it's everything, just from man, recruiting to, getting the best out of your guys to some of his offensive schemes, defensive schemes. When I was here with him in the past, we kind of targeted the Chicagoland area, Northwest Indiana, kind of made this, a focal point in our recruiting, and we did a great job of that. So, having a recruiting plan for a place like Valpo. And then, obviously the off the court stuff that he allowed me to do, I was kind of over our team chapels, our team times, and that was something, being the Rev that I took a lot of pride in. And, I kind of got a cool little system, a little setup to really, teach integrity, teach character, teach faith, but then also motivate and kind of build chemistry with our team. So, he kind of let me go with it. And over the 5 years here, I kind of developed that. And it's a big part of my philosophy now.
So what's going to be most different between your program and the program that you were a part of with Bryce that was Bryce's program?
I mean, obviously I'm a total different person, but we're like best friends. I love him. And we used to go on vacation together. So that's my foundation. I was with them for 7 years, 8 years actually, because we were together at Vanderbilt too. So there's going to be a lot of similarities, but for me, which is really cool that I waited and took my time to be a head coach. I also spent the last 4 years at Mark Few,
Yep.
so I'm able to kind of take what I learned from him in that program and kind of put both of those philosophies and program styles together. So I would say that's going to probably be, the biggest difference is I'm going to pull some of my time from Gonzaga and put into this program.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Gonzaga too, because for those that don't know, you most recently were at Gonzaga under Mark Few. And if you're stacking this, if you're watching this, just like learning more about Roger Powell, you're probably making a mental note of like, you've been a lot of places with success here. Like Valpo was pretty damn good the first time you were here. Gonzaga's been arguably the best program in the country the last 4 years. And obviously back to your playing days, you had a bunch of success, but coaching the mid-major level, I imagine going to a place like Gonzaga is something that you would maybe take with you going forward to like, I wonder if we could get there. Like that's sort of, I feel like it's from the outsider perspective, it's the pinnacle of mid-major basketball. As Gonzaga has like gone from this small school to a powerhouse. how do you sort of approach, or I guess, what was it like being a part of that? And then how do you take that and maybe try to emulate that in building your own program?
It's funny because before I started coaching at Gonzaga, so 5 years ago, um, I was one of the guys that, we were looking at the Zags and man, what's that secret sauce? Like, what is it? And everyone's like, what is it about Gonzaga? They had an HBO special and all these things about it. And actually being a part of it, kind of leaving my stamp on it, being able to really do some things to impact it and get it to continue to go up. Number one, I think it increased my confidence and my ability, to be able to take over a program because, to leave your stamp on a program like Gonzaga, it says a lot about who you are as a coach and then, being able to coach with Coach Few and be around him and him giving me putting his confidence in me and making decisions like that was huge for my confidence as I take on this opportunity. But it's a unique place and you can't really get the intricacies of it until you're there, until you're a part of it, and you just kind of work and you just kind of grow and you get to understand what's important to that culture. So, I'm definitely going to bring a lot of that, but a lot of it's not going to be something that's calculated. It's just going to be things that kind of I picked up and ideas and things that I've seen just being a part of the whole campus. The university is a special place. So it's just going to kind of come out in the way I coach and the ideas I give the university. And the cool thing is it's a small Christian school. So, it's when I bring ideas, everyone's going to listen and we're going to try to do them.
100%. So I can imagine you still got some game. Don't be humble here. Did you go up against Chet Holmgren, Drew Timme in practice much? And what happened if you
Absolutely. And I got buckets. All right. If you could call them and ask them about it. I got buckets. So I still can play. But the full court stuff is starting to kind of dwindle away. It's half court all offense for me. That's what happens when you get my age.
It's the check up 3 dribbles, right? That's what people tell me.
That's it. That's it.
3 dribbles. So you mentioned this earlier. It's bringing Valpo back to where it was. Coming off the lowest finish since they've been in the Missouri Valley Conference. What are the challenges of re-entering into this program in a rare down spot for where this program has been in the last couple decades?
It was tough, man. I mean, obviously, Matt Loddick is someone that I'm dear to my heart. I kind of helped bring him here as an assistant, back when Bryce and I were here together. So, he faced some challenges, going from, the Horizon League to the Missouri Valley and COVID. I mean, it affected everybody. So, to his defense, I thought he did the best job he could. I think for me now, like you said, just having the experiences that I've had, from, being here and then having 7 years of preparation to take over this program, there are things that I'm just going to be really good at because I've seen things, I've seen more things and coming into this opportunity with the knowledge I have from, Coach Few, all the different places from Vanderbilt, the players I've recruited, the pros. I mean, I've been fortunate to be a part of 14 NBA guys in 12 years. I mean, that's awesome. That's just experience that's going to help me be able to have success. And I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I mean, I believe the team that we had here, when I left 5 years ago, that won 30 games. I mean, that team would have been really competitive in the Missouri Valley. I mean, we blew out Florida State. We beat St. Mary's here. We, beat Rhode Island. I mean, we went out to Oregon State and beat Oregon State. So, like, I really believe the plan is going to be very competitive, and I think we're going to be cutting down nets.
Yeah, I'm sure fans love to hear that statement. And Missouri Valley Conference has not been a stranger to teams cutting down nets. Loyola Chicago had a ton of success recently. And you guys, I mean, historically, one of the most successful programs in this conference. So looking at the roster itself, leading scorer heading to Iowa. This is the transfer portal era. That's something that is happening everywhere you look. Who do you expect to step up in his departure? And in general, how difficult is it to build a roster at this level, given the challenges the portal brings?
Well, when I got the job, it was a little later, and to be honest, we only have 3 guys returning. Because guys obviously before I got hired transferred, and
Yep.
some of the commits they had made this decision to go elsewhere, and that's fine. But the beauty of it is, a lot of people look at the transfer portal and NIL as a challenge. I look at it as an opportunity, an opportunity to really get some guys that have some experience. And, obviously with the one-time transfer rule, once they transfer here, you got them for a while. And then there were some overlooked guys in high school and prep school, some overlooked JUCO guys because everyone's so focused on the portal. So just being able to pull some of those guys. And I've been fortunate, man. I got a great staff. You talked about Loyola. One of my coaches was on that staff that went to the Final Four and won the Missouri Valley multiple years. So, my staff has done a great job of finding guys, and we just been working. We put our head down, and we went from 3 guys to, I think we're going to have a pretty full roster and be pretty competitive. And I credit that to my staff, man. They've done a great job of searching, and finding good fits for our program.
It's an impressive turnaround that quickly in that window. There's larger schools that are still struggling with that.
And it was like 2.5 weeks, man. It's just been like, wow. Like, where are we at? What day is it? Okay, who's coming on campus next?
Chaotic. So, every head coach at every level across the country, once they've been a head coach for a certain number of time, I feel like outsiders start to summarize who they are as a coach or what their brand of basketball is with how they play, right? Like just a couple examples off the top of my head, like Tom Izzo teams, toughness, rebounding, defense, transition, Jim Boeheim, 2-3 zone, all that. What is Roger Powell basketball going to be at Valparaiso?
I'm the Rev, man. That's who I am. All right. The Rev. You see that? Can you read that?
Oh, I got you. I got you.
So, it's funny, man, because I think I lost you for a second. You there?
Yep, I'm here. You got me?
I did this, and I'm going to read this to you because this is kind of just who I am and what my program will stand for. And I think this is important as, in recruiting and in going through the job process of finding a place that fit me. So I'll just read this to you, man. You're going to like this. So number one, my program is going to take on my identity. And I learned that from Coach Mark Few. You think of Gonzaga, you think of the Zags, like that program 100% took on his identity. Next thing is I'm a preacher and I'm a mentor that loves basketball and uses it as a tool to build and give young men life-changing experiences. I love my family more than anything, and I will value cultivating a family culture in my program. I passionately love my players and work hard at developing genuine relationships with them so that I can coach them hard when needed. I am gifted with the ability to lead and motivate people to pursue God's best for their lives. I have winning in my DNA, and I have won at high levels everywhere I've been. And the last thing is I am driven by vision and purpose, and what I write down, I accomplish. So those statements are kind of, when you think of my program, think of family, think of faith, think of integrity, think of passion, think of winning. Like, that's who I am. And that's what you're going to see from my teams. And I desire that every kid that comes up and becomes a part of this program, everyone that even touches our program, fans, whatever, they have a life-changing experience. And life-changing experience come when you win games. Yep. So, that's my desire, is to be able to win some games and create an experience for this community, for our campus, for the players. I want it to be life-changing, fun, exciting. And the Rev, hopefully the Rev, with some prayer and some hard work, we can get that done.
If you make some merch with the Rev on it, I'm gonna need a T-shirt or something. I'm gonna ask you too. I mean, I'm ready for an official visit after that speech. I mean,
Come on
I
through,
don't know
man.
where I sign up, but I might need one.
Come on
I'll
through.
I'll leave you with a fun one, and I was sort of pestering you on this before we clicked record, but winning in your DNA, that goes all the way back to Illinois. My favorite team in college basketball history is your senior year Illinois team. I don't even need to name the names, but let's name the names. D. Brown, Darren Williams, Luther Head, James Augustine, Roger Powell, the Rev. Where does that team rank historically in college basketball to you as a player? Are you one of the top 5, top 10? What's the number?
Man, you know what? I think I saw some ranking. They had us like 9, all-time greatest teams. But we were special. And we came up short, obviously, in the national championship game. But 2 years ago at Gonzaga, our 2021 team, we were 30-0 going into the national championship game. So we didn't lose a game all year. And that was the game where, the year where Jalen Suggs hit that shot against UCLA.
Yep.
And then obviously we went on later to lose to Baylor in the championship. So I've been a part of 2 teams, man, that I think they would be competing for that, that top 10, top 5 all-time, teams in college basketball history. Only thing is, both times we came up second, so hopefully I got something else in my tank. Hopefully I can get a championship here someday. And then, maybe God was waiting until I became a head coach to win one. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Just imagine how sweet it will be. And if and when that moment does come, I'm going to need to come. Maybe I'll take you out to dinner or something. I want the real answer off camera. Which one of those teams is the best behind closed doors?
Between 2005 and 2021. Oh, that's it. Yeah, off the camera.
We'll save it for my official visit. How about that, Coach? All right, Roger Powell, thank you so much for doing this. We wish you the best of luck. We'll be watching. And just from talking to you, man, I know you're going to crush this. So congratulations, first of all, and great luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate you.